Winter closures for 20 years. Yeah.
James might call us during this meeting, so
You can't get in and open them up and plow anyway.
So this is pretty close to the map I have, but we also close, depending on whether Meadow Creek Road, we close Krebs Crossing, we close Eagle Pass.
Well, yeah, but that's not for the wildlife.
Not for the
closure.
wildlife,
That's to,
That's
we
because
close,
of us.
yeah, because they'll ruin our roads.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
okay. So,
I'll go ahead and adopt these then.
yeah, we probably ought to, so they can get the instructions to get the road closures up.
So I would move that we approve the road closures for the fishing game requested, along with other closures that
Well,
the road bridge
the other closures. road and
deems
bridge,
necessary for the county.
Yeah. Those will come from road and bridge and they request.
I'd second your motion to.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, okay. All right. Next thing, we'll need to make a motion to amend the agenda. I've got the section of the code that allows for that for a 24-hour notice. For special circumstances, the circumstances here are the fact that we asked them to you're the one that did the report, to come back with a report. So pursuant to that section, I can go get it. if
No,
you need it. I checked with legal counsel. We need a motion to amend the agenda to include the request for a variance for Jim Lake Harbor.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I passed out these that I know your name, but
Dan, sure.
yeah, okay, you're the licensed engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to explain that because we had asked you for a justification on what you said was or was not required by AASHTO.
So just to recap, what we talked last, the statements made were that we were concerned that the bridge specifications county has are based on AASHTO requirements. And thus the county can't get out of, or county will not accept liability for going outside the AASHTO requirements. My assignment was to see if the low volume portion of the code, which is a little green book, so we call the big green book the green monster, the little green book's little monster. That low volume code, to see if there was an exception to sidewalks on bridges. And so this letter just goes down through my research. What I went through is I went through the low volume code and went back through the AASHTO code. Then I contacted the FHWA and I've contacted ITD based on this research. What I found is that the low volume code is silent on the requirement for sidewalks, which when I look through, it says if the designer chooses, and I put some of that language in here, the designer chooses to provide pedestrian or bicycle access, then you go to another portion of the code which defines what bicycle and pedestrian access is, but there was no requirement to get there. After I went through that, I went back to the big code to find where the requirement for the bridges was, so that I could just make sure there wasn't a link or further things. Like also the wording in the AASHTO code is not definitive as to whether you need a sidewalk. It leaves it up to either the designer or the jurisdiction that has responsibility over those bridges, which in this case, that would be you. To back that up, I called ITD District 6 to start the process. Actually, I called FHWA first, and I put their names in there who I've contacted. FHWA routed me around, and I ended up with a guy out of Boise. His last name is Miltner. He was quick to respond. He says AASHTO does not define sidewalks on bridges. They don't, well, they define what the sidewalk should be if you're gonna put a sidewalk on a bridge, but there's no absolute link. His response was that, and which is what I found, is that AASHTO leans more towards flexibility of the jurisdiction to do what makes sense, less about forcing what has to happen. If you do put sidewalks on, then there are rules about what the sidewalk should be. And his comments back were if the road leading or the corridor leading to the bridge is either going to have sidewalks, has sidewalks, planned to have sidewalks, has a sidewalk 20 feet away from the bridge. Anywhere you introduce pedestrians to that crossing, then the bridge should incorporate that pedestrian traffic, or you should make other arrangements. If it's not there, then it's up to the jurisdiction to say, is this going to need that, or is this? And that was kind of the conversation. So it puts it back on you. Then he says, but contact ITD to find out what they would require in this area. So I went to ITD and I got routed for about 8 people. Nobody had the quick answer. And the reason why I didn't get the letter in was because the last person who had the golden nugget of information was in Boise, and he was not. I couldn't get a hold of him for about a week and a half. His name's Ryan Lancaster. When I got, and his number's in here. His comment was exactly FHWA's comment. I asked them about state inspections, where the state had a problem inspecting anything that has, you guys have, you contract with the state to inspect anything over 40 feet, which we have one of those, or 20 feet, which we have one of those. They said they don't care whether there's sidewalks on that or not. Their biggest concern was that the paved area, that the bridge doesn't physically neck the flow of traffic. And with your 18-foot wide road pave section, we provided for that in this,
28.
or 20 foot, 14 times 2, 28, yes, sorry. I also went back and reread the code, and your code is set up to allow you to make determinations as to whether or what the road width should be. The specific language after it says sidewalks on either side, but it says that the Bonneville County reserves the right to make a determination on what the width of the road or the bridge should be. And so that's where we're coming back with. In all cases, every person I've talked to, they have all made the statement or have added to the statement that if the bridge is never going to be, or in the next 50 years doesn't have the plan to have sidewalks there, then it's a waste of resources to put it on, because in 50 years, the sidewalk rules will change, or the bridge is out of date. You're already dealing with many bridges that are over 50 years old and having to start replacing those things and that whatnot. So adding the width on the side for just not having pedestrian access doesn't seem to make sense. However, if in the next near future, you're planning on making a development or making something down the road is going to drive having sidewalks there, it makes sense. The other thing they pointed out was to make sure that when decisions are made, the bridges are planned on a 50-year lifespan. They often go 80 or 100 or more. But that 50-year lifespan, if things change, what you're making decisions of right now, you can't be held accountable for 50 years down the road. We've talked about a couple of bridges that you already have problems with because it doesn't have pedestrian access. When those bridges were put in, the commissioners at that time had no idea that there'd be a school here causing that problem. And that's also what, they kept pushing back. Every agency contact was pushing back on making sure developers that impact structures pay for that impact. But if there's no impact, that was the backslide. They're all very wiggly on saying absolutes. I told them I was providing phone numbers and that to you if you wanted to back up what I've talked with them about. But in every case, there was no absolute requirement for sidewalks on bridges. And it basically leaves up to you to make the determination whether they're necessary.
Okay, so the width of the bridge is 40 feet.
It's 28 feet.
28 foot is the width of the roadway.
Right.
And
And
then
so the width of the roadway plus 5 feet on either side would be 38 feet. But when we're talking, the 40-foot was the span, not the
Across the
width.
river.
So what's the width of the bridge?
So the width of the bridge right
28
now is
feet.
designed at 28 feet wide.
It's, the full width is 20, the travel path is 28 feet, plus we have 9 inches on each side for curbing. That's to
There's
attach the guardrails,
guardrails
yes.
on the attached to the curb.
The typical travel lane is 12 foot.
Yeah,
So
I get all
24,
that.
so
I'm just trying to visualize what this.
There's 2 foot of spacing
Like,
there.
got a picture?
Not yet. We'll get you one though.
So
So,
a normal travel lane is 12 foot, which does give 2 foot of shoulder.
right,
Right, that's what I was trying to. look at. The other thing that's, they talk about low volume,
mhm,
how many homes in that subdivision that may,
34.
Is this
There's
a-
there's
Is
33.
this a connector
And I added
between
one
sections of
more
the
just
subdivision
for
or is this a
safety.
well, they've
No.
got,
dead end section of the subdivision?
It's an extension of a subdivision that attaches to 49th South, and it will connect to Costa Road and out through.
it sounds like probably as an emergency access type situation.
There's
It's designed
two
to road
accesses to the subdivision. One is 49th South, and then the other one is the one past the sewer plant.
That's Costa Road.
And so there's 2 bridges that we're actually talking about that will split the traffic, and 12 of these homes are on 49th South, never use the bridges. So it's like,
But the majority of the traffic comes through the old subdivision to the new one. Because it's probably a lot harder to get down behind the sewer plant, if I remember that.
it would probably, ease-wise, the sewer plant would be easier, but it's gonna be gravel road. From our property to the sewer plant will be gravel, so
Last
generally,
time I
I think
tried to
they're
drive
gonna
down
use
there,
it.
there was a gate. I couldn't, so I didn't get to see it.
Well, with
I think that gate
that's
gets
the-
to be removed now, so that's.
That's the gate that we've
So,
ordered them to remove that they said, it's a long story.
yeah. Ultimately, the low volume is less than 2,000 trips per day, basically. Anything less than 2,000 trips falls into that low volume category.
What would you guesstimate that? the
I'm
trips would be?
guessing at peak, we're probably 400 trips per day. That's my guess peak, but I'm just basing that off the number of houses with 2 cars per house. And mom and dad leaving 3 times in a day to go each. to go do
3
something.
daughters in high school.
Or people coming in for somebody has an activity.
And there are no sidewalks anticipated or planned from this in the future.
Yeah.
internally?
No, the other thing it pointed out, I did not put this in there, is that, and that's in the pedestrian code. If you get in the pedestrian code, sidewalks change drastically depending on how dense you are, from 6 to 8 feet or 4 feet.
Our standard is 5 foot.
Right, so the AASHTO code is trying to pin down how much sidewalk pedestrian traffic you have there. They get into putting people onto the shoulder of the road when you are less than 1 acre or lower than 1 acre density per housing unit, which we are. And so AASHTO won't ever come out and say, put people on the shoulder of the road, but they give that as an option as a pedestrian and bicycle access is the shoulder of the road, if it's a maintained paved shoulder.
The city of Idaho Falls took advantage of that on homes from Sunnyside down to Taylor View. At one point, I think they've gone and put a little path there since. But that was always a concern because that's very high volume.
Yeah.
That's been quite a while ago.
Based on this information, I think it's clear that I
Yeah.
agree with the wording that it's a waste of resources
No, and
to
I-
put that on a bridge.
I appreciate Lance's attention to detail and making sure that we're holding all the builders standard to try to spend it, but not, there's balance on wasting the resources. And knowing this area is just not going to expand. Nobody wants to live next door to you.
You're gonna have to put a bridge across the river to get it to expand.
We'll just tell them you live there and nobody will move in.
There you go. Probably if I tell them I invited one of the commissioners to live there, they would move in.
Probably.
So we could just have one party.
So, yeah, I think I agree. Do we want to formalize that? So to grant the variance for the width of the bridge?
So I think you just make the determination that these two bridges don't need a sidewalk and vote it like that, it's rather than
And that way
a
we-
variance or something
Yeah,
like that.
your code is set to where you don't have to provide an official variance as well as you
Yeah.
make the determination.
Yeah, and that way we can get the plat. We're trying to get some of those off of our plate.
So, and I think he sent comments back to your engineer for the plat. And I sent comments back on the improvement drawing for it.
So is it ready to file?
I don't think it's quite ready. There was a couple small changes, but one of the changes I needed to have from the improvement drawings needed to include the bridge drawings with them. And so far, they're not included with them.
We can send that in. We were waiting for this variance.
Okay.
Because
Now you
this variance came through
include
at the time.
these bridge drawings for him to
The
approve.
bridge drawings are complete, but they don't have sidewalks, so we have
Well,
turned them in.
But that's what we're saying.
Yeah, so today we
Turn it in
can
without-
send those to Connect can send them in as part of it.
And then we can do the plat. Is that only thing?
Once I review them really quick, yeah, then it can, I think the plat has been reviewed and sent comments back. I'm not aware of what those comments were, but he was supposed to send those comments back last week.
The only thing that I understood, I thought, because he was here last time, was the fire hydrant thing that I think he's discussed with.
That was on the improvement drawings, but not the plat.
There should be comments from
Oh,
Shane
comments on the plat?
Yeah, comments from Shane on the plat itself. That come through
I
somewhere.
have discussed that. Anyway, that would be with Ellsworth. And
If they're the ones doing the plat, I
Yeah.
don't. You've got too many people involved to keep track of
I
sometimes.
told you it was one of those cooking days in the kitchen.
So if they vote to approve the bridges without the sidewalk, and if you get
Motion
the
for that.
drawings, the bridge drawings to Connect can resubmit the whole plans to me,
You want that
and then the plan,
as a
the
motion?
the plat
It
needs to be
doesn't
approved.
take a formal approval, but it probably wouldn't hurt to have it as a motion, where it's been a request for a
Is
variance.
that a motion?
I will make
Second.
that motion. These bridges be approved with the 28 feet.
And I'll in favor. Aye. Okay,
Good. Thank you.
nice to see you again. See, I know.
Is it every Wednesday? Should I
Yeah.
start planning this?
Well, that's, yeah.
I know a new angle for the city. They can come in and request a wildlife closure for that.
Oh,
But it's-
That's right.
Okay.
It's whitetail feeding area down there on there.
But it's also in city jurisdiction, so they'd have to approve
It's
that.
a whitetail lawyer feeding ground. Does that qualify?
Well, that's white collar. White collar lawyer.
Oh, white, okay.
Not whitetail.
I did not hear back. Did the fire hydrant? did
Thank
he-
you.
Was he okay?
Okay, thanks.
But they got further apart?
Okay.
That's what we talked about at
That
the
was
last
good.
one, that the
Yeah,
new
good.
division, they were gonna be further apart than the old division.
I think the-
Uh,
there was- They're not further apart, but on the new division, the hydrants, they weren't counting the ones from the old divisions. They're saying there wasn't enough,
Oh.
but some were already on old improvement drawings.
Your
Gotcha.
Mechanical, the guy that's doing the water system, say that those, the capacities, the one that had this more standard looking hydrant with the 2.5 connect is the one you should have. But he has to say that the flow, it will do the 254.
It'll go through. the
Yeah, there's some other stuff that we talked about.
What did you?
It's,
I mean, that's what they're teeing off.
so I would say do the 4-inch line off from the 4-inch pipe and do the 4-inch hydrant. Or the hydrant so that it will flow the 250.
The guy at Core Maine, that's why he sent me those cuts, 'cause he said these will all be 250. I told him that was our requirement.
Do the one that's more standard with the 2.5-inch hole bit, but not the 1.5 inches, but the
Yeah,
2.
2.5.
Yeah, the 2.5.
Okay.
Okay.
We on break? We still under?
Still
No, no, we're still being recorded.
we're done with productive items. Hey, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Well, do your math. Oh, gotta have that.
The other thing on the agenda was the standards.
Okay,
I'll call you about it, right of approach, access.
did you find out, are those done by ordinance? How do we have to publish those, or do we just change the standards?
So last week, we talked about you just changing the standard by adoption. The revision is on there. And so that's what you told me to proceed with, is just get the final version to you and you vote to adopt it today.
Right, but are those just our standards or are they ordinance?
I think they're
Resolution.
tied
Did you do
to,
that by resolution? Did you guys do the standard by resolution when you adopted them?
I don't know.
So then
I
you have
didn't know if
to,
it was
if
an
you
ordinance or
adopted them by resolution, then you have to have a
Okay,
resolution
well,
to change
You
them.
adopt and then, well, yeah. We put the resolution together to change them, but I'm just trying to find out how they were adopted originally, if it's by
I
ordinance.
thought it was by ordinance the first
And
time.
if it is by ordinance, then we need to approve them and then you publish the ordinance afterwards.
Because last
Gotcha.
week you just said, make the changes, bring it back, we'll adopt.
Yeah, but
So
I thought I also said to check with legal counsel to see what we have to do if it's by ordinance or resolution.
I did not do that part. Yeah.
Okay.
We better make sure we do it right, because this could be
Could be.
a challenge, yeah.
I will get a hold of Weston today.
Yeah, I think you and Weston have worked through it to where it is worded quite well.
Okay.
So it works. It's just making sure that it's adopted the correct way.
Right. Okay.
How long ago were these standards adopted?
So the first time was 2007. They've been amended several times since then. The last time was in 2018.
So if we haven't done them by ordinance, it's probably they were adopted by resolution.
Really sure it was, pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it was resolution, but I don't have the resolution number to work off of. So
Because if it's by resolution, we can just approve to adopt them and then put a new resolution together with a number.
Would it be possible for you to find the last resolution that was used to adopt the former standards, Kayla?
Got it. Looking for it right now.
Okay. We can just use that as a pattern.
Yeah.
2007.
Gotta go to department.
So that was when it was originally adopted, Kayla. The last time it was changed or modified was in 2018.
I'll see what I can find.
By resolution then, when we made these changes.
We can just find that. We just change a few words in it to
Yeah,
keep these new standards. Yeah.
I guess the other question is whether it would be better to adopt our standards by ordinance for the future.
I don't know.
That'd be a Weston question, I imagine, or Scott.
Down the road, you know, if you're gonna-
I don't think it's in the ordinance type of format.
probably not.
It really isn't. Like, resolution, I think it probably got it. It doesn't say. It's written down. My recollection is we just simply did it, adopted it, or set by resolution and made it part of the record, because you didn't want to do ordinance, then that go through the public hearing concept, and we didn't hold public hearings on.
We didn't hold public hearing on it.
She's headed someplace. with a
There's a way
purpose.
online though, where you go to the
you can go to the commissioners and find
Yeah,
resolutions.
commissioners minutes.
I
and
have
then
had
there's
very little luck
all
on
the
the website for
documents
that.
listed out, but
Um,
I can't
the
ever
girls
find
have
it
been
on my
working
phone.
that on a daily basis.
Okay.
So more.
I haven't,
More and more stuff.
Is
every
there?
day is there.
I haven't, she's bringing us through anything.
Because it started out, it started out.
Commissioners,
Who is?
Rod Beck.
resolution.
What would our resolution number be?
18, the next one, 23, 21, 14.
Kayla,
Okay, so we will adopt changes as a resolution. What is it called?
2114.
2114.
so this gave the whereases.
Most probably have to be changed just a little bit, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a little bit of different wording in here, even on the whereases. Do you want to make some changes? Do you want to take care of this today, or can we punt till next week?
I don't think it's critical. We could do it either way.
So how about I take that, I'll make some changes to it and I'll bring it back.
Yeah,
next
they need to
week.
be a little more specific to these new
These
changes.
specific-
Yeah,
Tighten up the whereas.
Okay.
There it is.
Add a few dozen of them or something like that.
we're gonna move it on the agenda till next week again, Kayla.
Next week, you know, isn't next week for?
No.
you're not you? Or is the following week?
That's, I think just follow.
Oh, no, next week's canceled, right,
Is
Kayla?
it? Is it canceled? I
Wednesday.
hadn't heard that.
That's the IAC meeting.
You guys have your meeting, the elected officials meeting.
9 o'clock with a 48-hour notice, just in the regular administrative. Just that resolution in there.
We could, our IAC meeting's at 11 next week. I mean, if we have a short road and bridge meeting, we
Yeah.
could do that
And where is,
over at the fairgrounds.
oh, yeah. Yeah, we could have just to take care of business next Wednesday.
Let's do that. yeah.
Let's do that. So we'll keep it on
8
for a
o'clock
short
instead of
road and
9.
bridge meeting.
Anything else?
We're on engineering and ITD, wanted to bring a couple more. Get these before you, I think there's enough. copy. All of you. So I'll keep this one for a second here. So they came to me and asked a couple questions about road drainage and about other stuff. Both of these options are basically treating the area the same way, but one of them impacts more of the properties, at least width wise. It doesn't include, it doesn't impact them less, but on the one, so you've got one with a lot more yellow on it. Those yellow are underground infiltrators. And so they push a little bit further east than the other one that doesn't have as much yellow on it. But so one way or another, it's still impacting all of those properties basically all the way. So they want to maybe give you another update on where they're at within the next few weeks. I told them that whether it's all piped underground in the road or whether it's these infiltrators off to the side, it doesn't affect road and bridge all that much. They just
But
kind
there's some structures there, like that monument company and those
the
houses.
monument company has probably gone one way or another.
And then there's an apartment building
Yeah,
that's gone too.
it's probably all gone.
They just lose their corner shop because they have their workspace up the street.
Yeah, either way, it looks like it takes them out.
Either way, yeah,
And that house on the corner.
So these are both the same traffic pattern.
these are both the same traffic patterns. It's just this one is showing a little bit more about where the underground infiltrators and stuff would go.
Dedicated right turn on that.
Yeah, that house on the corner, we're gonna, they partially sold it when we built the right of way. You know, because we had to come
Yeah.
close to their house.
And it was close, then, but this
So
this
they could sell it
essentially-
again.
I'd have
impacted
thought by
all that.
now a semi would have just gone right through that house, but
It looks like this one option, it moves further east.
It does move just a little bit further east, but again, it's about 5 feet further east.
What does that do with all of that? Does the county continue to have all that right of way?
The county would have all that right away through a portion of this. We would be responsible right through here. It would be up in the air about right now. If they choose to get this new Highway 26 connector, this would all become probably ours to maintain.
But the state will take care of the condemnation compensation or.
That's the intent. They just want buy-in from the commissioners that said the commissioners won't fight against
so
it.
why are they looking at the infiltrators opposed to pipes?
Well, the
Is one of
infiltrators
those more-
are just underground. You'll have
Right.
pipes leading to those
No, I mean,
infiltrators.
why the different? Is this one just showing you the infiltrators and this one doesn't?
This one shows, well, it would be more underneath the roadway here.
Oh,
This is outside of underneath the asphalt.
I guess my question is, why are they looking at that as opposed to this, or is it
It's
just an
easier to
option? or-
construct.
Okay.
And it's, to some extent, it's easier to maintain long-term
Yeah.
because you don't have to
Tear the
shut down
roads
the
up.
water to work on it.
What does that do as far as ingress and egress on that building, the mine on the corner there?
The monument corner,
Where's
that
yours?
building is pretty much gone.
Not the monument, this one.
What was the lumberyard?
There's,
Yeah.
Still-
you don't
So-
want
The egress, just be more traffic.
Yeah, it
Jump
doesn't
on more
change,
lanes.
it doesn't
Yeah,
change the
it's-
egress entrance very much to that work
oh,
building.
this one.
My question is just, it looks like we cross a long ways of right of way. I mean, you move that over, what does all that right of way become?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about this one. So you got all this dead space in here. I need a driveway to come into here.
Well, that would be where the driveway would come across.
So, but they would have to build that and,
Yeah, that would be part of the project.
because this all becomes a big dead right of way,
It
right?
does becomes right away that's not used as the road, yeah. It
That's
just
a
becomes
lot.
property.
That's
That's like 30 feet.
30 feet at least, yeah.
And it may be, and that's maybe the only way you can get access off here is because you won't have any stacking problems.
Hmm. So maybe they would bring it in way back here to be able to get it off the road and driveway
That's
in.
possible, yeah.
Hmm. And the county would be responsible to take care of all that dead space, as far
Yes,
as weeds and.
uh-huh.
Or the property owner.
They let the adjacent landowner landscape it.
Yeah,
put
so
grass
let
on it
the
and
property
mow it.
owner put down some zero
If the
maintenance
county wants to
landscape.
give me the property, I would maintain it.
That's what farmers do. They just plant right up to the edge. of the
Stafford's
road.
doing
That's the
that
way to keep track of the
on,
weeds.
all his frontage. Next, going out to,
He's landscaping it.
he planted grass out to the asphalt,
Well, then tell them it's not a
Stafford.
bad example.
Seven buildings.
where the Chevy and Honda is. He landscaped, put grass and sprinklers clear out to the asphalt and was maintaining it.
And that he wanted to make sure because of the comments that he got that it would be a second class development. in the county for
Make it
him.
hard.
He wanted to make sure he overdid that.
No, really?
Yeah,
Really looks nice.
it does.
Yeah,
Some
it does.
flowers in
He
there
took that
too.
personally.
It looks nice when farmers plant right to the road too.
It
That
does.
Keeps the weeds
Go
down.
up over in Twin.
He got
think that's
permission
how it
from
ought to be.
ITD to do it, but it's annexed into the city, so he's maintaining city annexed property and county state right of way and getting the benefit for it.
Question I've got is, are we considering what this will do to that subdivision, who is it? Karchner?
So Karchner hasn't come in with
Karchner.
plats.
That-
They're
Oh,
They're on the other
they're
corner.
on here.
Well, they're on this corner.
Yeah, and they've been told to anticipate that.
Something
In
happening.
their plat, they dedicated a bunch of, in that corner for a big roundabout, I think, because that's originally.
That was
what we
the plan that we
That was,
thought
we
about.
placed that condition on them that they had to accommodate for.
Right, it's
It'd be
gonna
nice if the
traffic
state
signal,
had
right?
that in place when they came in to have their plat approved.
Well, and at least have the concept down as working towards design, because that would help Karshner quite a bit to see what's that corner is gonna be.
Speaking of that interchange, where are they on all that? Making the decision?
I don't think they're anywhere close to making a firm decision.
What are you hearing?
So we would have to move.
There's a lot of discussion about it, but yeah, there's no definitive, this is the way we're going. Kind of the same thing with I-15 US 20, it's in the NEPA process, and so it started down that path, but the NEPA process does not allow them to have 3 or 4 options. Right now, we've got 5 or 6 still kind of being talked about, so.
One other thing that I just remembered, out of the jail, we're looking at expanding and it'll take away their compound to the west of the storage building there. I guess it slopes off.
Okay, I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, the question the sheriff raised is, could they fill that? Because, it doesn't have to be compacted very much just to store their vehicles and stuff.
It still have to be compacted to, yeah,
But the question,
we do use that area for gravel storage or
Not
other
this area.
things. I mean, we have,
Not what we're talking about.
no, are you talking?
No, the only thing there are marmots.
you can finish
rocks.
recording, Kayla. I think we're done.
Just talk about